What's up, YouTube? This is Insane Monster, and this is part 6 of What If Asta was the son of Igneel. Now then, where we'll be starting off is when the Black Bulls are getting prepared to go to their new mission at to get to the underwater temple. So everyone gets packed and ready to go. Though before they leave, Noelle, Asta, and Yami notice that they're missing Gordon. Even though the rest see that Gordon is there, they replied with that was Gray, that they can smell it due to the dragon power that they have. So they wait until Gordon finally catches up and head out. Though obviously Asta flies. As for Noelle and Yami, well, they're having a bit of trouble. Noelle still can't control her magic that well, so she has to ride on Crazy Cyclone with Magna for the moment, and she is just not having it. As for Yami, he's barely keeping it together. But they managed to get to the beach where Noelle and Yami proceed to throw up in privacy, which they respond with, "Why? Why was that happening?" Asa rubbed the back of his head and told him, "Oh, part of the dragon power is that, you get motion sickness on things like brooms, boats, carriages, and even flying carpets. Though if it's something that's created by somebody's magic or riding an animal or something like that, it's weird, but you won't get sick from it." Which they just reply with, "Are you serious? We don't have wings like you. We have to use the brooms." Right? And they're just in their minds saying, "Kill me now." But we still get to the but we still get to the beach portion where they start to relax during the day and have some fun. Where we see Noelle hiding behind the tree for a minute, having a bit of a flashback, where when Noelle was getting a new swimsuit and met Klaus, and Mimosa. And Mimosa was doing the scary face when they found out that the Black Bulls were going to the beach, with Noelle having the scary face going back at her with the smiles on both of them. With Mimosa thinking, "I don't care if she's going to the beach with the Black Bulls. It's her squad. Why wouldn't she?" And Noelle's thinking, "Why am I getting so defensive and aggravated at the same time?" Let's go. They just won't admit it right off the bat. So we get back, and Noelle shows off her swimsuit. Asta doesn't need, just enjoys himself, and takes a bit of a training a little bit by diving under the water as deep as he can while firing fire dragon roars from the bottom. He does that for a bit and comes back to shore to just relax. Noelle still asks him about her swimsuit, which in this one he does hear her and notice what she's asking. So he said, "It looked nice, though I don't really get what the jewels on it are about. I've heard women like jewels and stuff like that." Noelle just looks at him saying, "Well, obviously. How do you not know that?" Asa just looks at her and says, "You know the woman who raised me, correct?" Which Noelle just goes, "Oh, yeah, that's right." When Night comes and they just enjoy themselves until night falls, where Yami tells them their plan to getting to the underwater temple, and that it hinged on Noelle. So Noelle begins her training to try to control her magic enough to make something to get them there. It's touch and go and all that. And Asta's there to use his swords to destroy the magic in case it gets out of hand again. Trial and error, and we meet Konoha, like in canon. She introduces herself and vice versa with them. And Konoha can sense a large amount of mana coming from Asta and is impressed. She jokes around saying and tells them her dream of becoming an idol and all that, and goes off. Training continues until she finally able to create her sea dragon's cradle. Then finally the time comes to where it's time to go. And in this one they do have Gordon along with them. And they head out. They're amazed by what they see in the ocean in the strong magic region, with Yami and Noelle being relieved that Noelle's spell counts as something that won't make them sick. Since Noelle made it with her own magic, it's like an extension of her, which oddly enough makes it to where she won't have that much trouble. It's a weird thing going on. It's a completely weird kind of thing with the dragon slayers and their motion sickness and all that, but it makes it fun. Once they get there, they're greeted by the temple people who live underneath the sea. They still go through that whole thing asking about the the magic stone and everything, and are told to go to the temple. Once they get there, they do meet the old mage with the game magic, who is the high priest. He tells them that they can take the stone if they win the game. And the room began to flood, and everybody was swept away. Yami, as well as Gordon, were actually taken and brought along with the high priest. When they complained, asking about why did they take them, he replied with, "You're a magic knight captain, which me and it would make the game last too short. And I can just sense that your magic is far too potent and dangerous." Gordon kind of slumps over in depression from this, but Yami just says, "All right," and starts chugging down the alcohol. So matches go similar in the ones that get knocked out right off the bat black from the temple guardians that were knocked out by the black bulls. Similar with Asta just knocking the mollusk magic guy out instantly along. But when Noelle meets up with Konoha to fight, she uses her sea dragon's lair and then uses her wand as fire magic, which is just dodging. Konoha still gives her that speech about using her magic against her because she has to. She's fighting for her dream, so she has to fight for what she wants as well. Noelle gets that and puts her wand back away, which confuses Konoha, saying, "What? Are you just giving up?" Noelle looks at her seriously and says, "No." She breathes in and does a sea dragon's roar. Not her spell in canon, but the dragon, sea dragon's roar. Like the Dragon Slayer sea dragon's roar. Which caught Konoha completely off guard, barely able to dodge. And the fighting continues from there. We go to where Asta ends up meeting Kato, I think his name was. At least that's how it seems from how it's spelled. And doing some sword attacks on Asta. Asta pulls out his swords and covers his body in scales. The the people of the underwater sea temple are amazed by Asta's transformation and can see how powerful he really is with this. With, yeah, sorry, with Kato just dodging as best as he can, getting in some hits every now and then, but they ain't doing much considering Asta's covered in dragon scales. Magna and Luck are still up against the Konoha and Kato's dad, who uses water creation magic to make that sea god creations like the shield and the hammer. This continues until, obviously, the Eye of the Midnight Sun crashed the party. Vetto takes out the Temple Guardian and then focuses on Luck and Magna. Yami is sealed up in the spatial magic trap, which is frustrating him to no end, and everybody is sensing this incredible magic power. Things go pretty similar in canon to a certain point. Luck and Magna still get their butts handed to them even after that impressive combo attack that they pulled, and are not completely out, which is when Kato and Asta show up attacking Vetto. Vetto's annoyed, but also a little glad that Asta's here. He can beat him down a bit and then drag him back with him. Fauna would love that, and as he says in his mind, and prepares to attack. In basically, he knows straight off the bat that those swords aren't gonna destroy his magic, so he uses his speed as much as possible to try to hit openings in his defense, which is causing some damage but not much considering the dragon scales. His priority is mostly Asta. Whenever Kato comes in, he just swats him aside, slamming him into the wall. He doesn't take off his leg in this one because he's prioritizing putting Asta down but not killing him so that he can drag him back. Asta was able to hold out, using his two demon swords to cancel out his magic while using his fire dragon attacks to keep him at bay and do some damage. Fire dragon roaring him into the wall, following it up with a fire dragon talon. It was push and go back and forth between the two for a while, which is when Noelle and Konoha came. Vetto thought that this might be a good chance and rushed straight towards them. Not Asta hurried up and got in the way, taking a direct hit from Vetto, slamming him into the wall. Vetto then started thinking he had a chance to take care of some of these others and started hitting Konoha. He Normally, Vetto would want to play with his food, but he has two vital targets in his sight, one of which can actually pose a problem and can fight back against him if he didn't take care of the others fast enough. So he took care of them, went to go take care of them first, hitting Konoha, fracturing some of her bones, sending her flying, which then Noelle just snapped. She threatened Vetto, telling him to get away from her. Vetto smirked, thinking, "Oh, third target, a member of the royal family, the most corrupt level of humans." Then he started to notice something. Her magic began building more and more. Her anger just fueled her power, creating a new spell. Now, her Dragon Slayer Sea Dragon's Roar is that name, but so the name of her attack now is Sea Dragon's Wrath. When she uses it, she on her right side where she's holding her wand, scales begin to form up her arm, shoulder, and such, sprouting a single wing, along with a sea dragon fin ear on her right side, taking off Vetto's entire arm and some of his torso. Then he obviously begins to freak out and uses the magic to regenerate his limbs. As for the people of the sea temple, they see Noelle, and now they see her even more as a sea goddess than they did in canon. Vetto powered up an incredibly strong attack to fire at Noelle, but Asta was able to jump in to slice the attack, keeping it from killing Noelle. He looked back and patted Noelle on the head, congratulating her and apologizing that he got knocked out for a bit. Which is when Finro and Vanessa show up. Which they do a similar plan as in canon, but this time Asta is able to do a lot more damage, hitting him over and over with his sword and various dragon attacks. Fire Dragon Fist to the face, followed by a slash to his chest from the Demon Dweller sword. Come, come back around for another attack, a Fire Dragon Talon to the back, and another slash going onto his arm. Until he goes in and stabs Vetto with his sword straight up. Then Vetto just had enough. He grabbed Asta with his magic coating his arms and breaking Asta screaming in pain. And Vetto saying, "Sorry, kid. I need to take you back alive, but, well, doesn't but it looks like I'll have to really bang you up to do it." In his mind, he's thinking, "Fauna's gonna kill me, but we can heal his arms and remove the curse later." He kicks Asta, flinging him to the wall. He begins to laugh, saying that he's going to kill all of the humans there. As this happens, Asta gets back up and starts to walk towards Vetto. "Not yet. I won't let you harm anyone." Vetto thinking, why? He knows what happened. Why is he siding with them? Asta focused his dragon power into his arms, concentrating it most in there to grow highly dense scales that act as braces. Then began the blitz right towards the Demon Slayer sword. He used it to knock Vetto off guard, enough to send him up in the air with a speed boost of flames coming out of his feet. Then he said, "I've had it." He tossed the sword aside and used golden flames, saying, "Fire Dragon, secret art. Flame Lotus, Phoenix Sword," hitting Vetto, blasting him clean through the ceiling of the roof of the Sea Temple. Having him in midair, Asta sprouts his wings to get behind Vetto and goes, "Fire Dragon Secret Art, Crimson Lotus, Exploding Flame," sending Vetto right back down, slamming him into the ground. With, with a final Fire Dragon Sword Horn, ramming right into Vetto. With the explosion, he used it to get some distance, hoping that he's down for good. Huffing and puffing, exhausted from his injuries and the pain suffering in his arm, he falls down exhausted until finally Vetto got back up, saying that he's going to destroy everything, turning himself into a bomb. When that happened, Yami began to get angrier and angrier, which is when Gordon and the high priest of the underwater temple began to see black scales form on Yami's arms, shoulder, and face, and his eyes changed to something with similar shape of that of a shadow dragon. He was able to get out and get to them. When he did, he congratulated them all on their hard work. This happened a little bit quicker because Vetto had was felt a little bit of urgency trying to put down Asta. So so Gray, Ghost, and Charmy got there a bit late due to this urgency that Vetto had of dealing with the Black Bulls and trying to take Asta and the Magic Stone as quick as possible. In this new form where Yami's eyes were similar to a shadow dragon's, and black scales covered most of his arms, giving him even claws. He lifted his sword, saying that he has pushed past his limits, using his dark magic, dark dimensional dark dimensional slash, cutting Vetto in half, ending it. After that, everyone got healed up, with some people leaving a lot of flowers near Noelle's bed. And they full on think that she's a sea goddess from what they saw. As for the scales Noelle and Yami sprouted, they went away. Though Noelle was glad that she finally had a attack spell in her grimoire, as well that her dragon powers has advanced, with Yami being happy for the same thing. Yami still does that little memorial thing he does for Vetto, and Asta brings the flowers. The Nero still pecks the hell out of Asta with the magic stone again. In this one, Konoha and Kato didn't get her throat stabbed or his leg cut off because Vetto was prioritizing uh, dealing with Asta first before anything. That so he didn't pay as much attention or play with his food as much as he wanted to, like he did in canon. So there's that. The the people of the underwater temple cheered the Black Bulls and thanked them for what they did, which the Black Bulls were more than happy to accept. When they were leaving, Asta came up to the Grand Priest and his family and said that if people come here that with those kind of attentions again, it could be trouble. So I want to give you something. And I do this because I truly believe that you guys are trustworthy. His grimoire opens up, showing the dragon jar, and using his flames in a similar way as Meliodas and Phlegolion to make a flaming hand, he grabs three lacrimas. After some discussion, it was determined that the Grand Priest's son and grandchildren would receive the dragon lacrimas. As for him, he declined, saying that he's lived a long and fulfilling life. When he passes, he'll know that his home is in good hands in the next generation. As for who gets what lacrima, Konoha and Kato's dad ended up with the sea dragon lacrima. Konoha was given a ether dragon lacrima, which is just basic mana energy, like similar to Agnologia somewhat, though because this one didn't have a particular magic attribute, it would cause Konoha in the future to become a melody dragon to merge with her song magic. As for her brother, he was given a blade dragon lacrima. Combine this with his sword technique and his dance magic, it would he would become sorry, a sword dance dragon. And if you don't know what sword dancing is, it's something that is in real life, and combining dance magic with blade magic would basically make a dancing blade dragon. So there's that. Once that happened, they left. Uh, Things continued, and Asta went to the capital to get his arms checked, where he found out that he had a curse placed on his arms that kept them from being healed. He was depressed. After the doctor visit, they found the the city was under attack, and the Golden Dawn was stepping in. General Charmy and Asta still met up with Mimosa, and Klaus, where and Asta still have a little bit of a rivalry chat. Klaus complains, saying, "What happened to your arms?" Where Asta just kind of laughs it off while being in pain. And Mimosa says, "Oh my gosh, what happened to you?" When she grabs onto his shoulders, worried about him, she just blushed and backed off with some vines and stuff coming out that from in more or less coming from her emotions, from her dragon powers now. So they go off and start fighting, and which is where they meet one of the shining generals that was about to be attacked, along with the civilian captives by the vice captain of the Golden Dawn, Finral's younger brother. Asta yelled at him to stop and to think about the lives of the citizens. He wasn't going to have it, so Asta sprouted his wings and used his mouth to hold his demon dweller sword, flying straight towards him. Finrod used his magic so that the mucus magic wouldn't hit Asta, giving him an opening that cut through his magic. Then, using the fire dragon talon to kick the shining general, slamming him into the wall, practically destroying the entirety of it. And since he has his wings out, he's able to land pretty easily. Asta just ends up telling that he's not going to be losing to a rival that easily, even if he has broken arms. As for the fights with and them, Klaus is able to use his dragon magic, which is at the moment steel dragon magic, very efficiently, and Mimosa, using her plant healing magic enhanced by the dragon power, is tending to all of the wounded. Is actually doing quite well using his magic to get around, along with fighting with Bell, and is growing having scales appear on his body. Though his opponent is more focused on killing him than noticing the slight change in appearance. On which, then hits him with a Sky Dragon's roar, which ultimately defeats them. And them meet up with Asta and his group to, to see how each other's going. Yami still checks out Captain, the captain of the Golden Dawn, because the key he's sensing from him, as well as the Eye of the Midnight Sun's leader, are pretty similar. Though something just doesn't feel right to him. Ultimately, he's proven to have no worries, even though they're well founded, after he removes his mask. We continue, and Bell is still complaining at while also praising him, complaining that he doesn't spend enough time with her, and congratulating him on winning that fight, saying that he knew he'd win. Then once you take a look at Asta, she gets a little scared, seeing because she full on knows that he is a dragon elf hybrid, being a spirit and all. Which Asta gives her a bit of a stern look that she can tell means don't say a word about it. Understand? Which she full on keeps her mouth shut. So we get back to the Black Bulls. Asta still refuses to let this be the end, that he'll find a way to get his arms healed. Though he did give something to Klaus to give to Mimosa and before they left. Each one was a book that he was holding that his parents left them. Each one contained knowledge on each of their individual dragon powers. Was going through his, learning that the Sky Dragon had a special ability when it came to charms, enhancements, and healing abilities. So he started training on this immediately, thinking it would be pretty useful. If he can boost the power of others as well as himself, not just magically but physically, then it would be a great thing to have to get results to become the next Wizard King. Klaus and Mimosa were also doing their studies with those books. As for the Black Bulls, they decide to help Asta. They still split up the same as in canon, though we'll leave it at this for now. At the point where Asta finds out about everybody scattering and looking for a way to heal his arms. So, thank you. Have a good day, and hope you enjoyed. Uh, Also, as a last announcement, there is a tropical storm heading towards me, so I will be uploading 3 videos today, just in case, because normally when something like this happens, power tends to go out, and we've already have enough gas for a generator to last us 2 days. So just a little prep. So if everything goes smoothly without any trouble with the power system, I'll upload as soon as possible. Depending. It just kind of, depends. So thank you. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.